Hello friends, Kisan is here again and welcome you in this video tutorial. In this video tutorial, we are going to discuss the project which we had created in our previous video tutorial. In this project, we'll do some kind of refactoring, and finally, uh, we'll focus on basically embedded database which comes with the Spring Boot. So if you go to the Spring Initializr website, so go to the start.spring.io. so that is the Spring Initializr website, and from there you can create a Spring Boot application, right, by selecting some info, right. You need to enter some info and all kind of dependency you can select from here, right. So if you go to this website, then you'll get this website in this format. Here you'll have to select what kind of building tool you want. So by default is Maven, and here you will have to select the language, that is by default Java, and here 1.5.4 is the latest stable version of Spring Boot, so that is selected by default. And here you need to enter group ID, artifact ID, that's it. And here by typing you can select different kind of dependencies which is required to create a Spring Boot application. Like if you type web, and if you select web, then web is selected over here, right. So this dependency you can type here, and that will come up in the drop down and you can select. Or second way to select the dependency, you can click over here, switch to the full version, and here you have a different categories, right. So mainly in this video I'm going to discuss on the SQL categories, right, SQL categories. So in previous video, we had created a RESTful web services, and there we performed the CRUD operation, and those video basically I have split it into 4 parts. So there is 4 videos related to that. In first video, when we had created project, then we had selected JPA, if you would have remembered, JPA and web. In this web we have selected this, and JPA we had selected SQL section we have selected JPA. So basically when you select this JPA and when you generate the project, Spring Boot project, then this will basically this selection will add the required jars which is basically required jars which is mandatory to work with the Spring Data JPA, Spring ORM and Hibernate. So that's the explanation they have given in a brief description, right. Now second thing, you have a JOOQ. So that is nothing but the Java object oriented query. If you go to the Google and here you will type JOOQ, so JOOQ has his own website, there you can go, and this is kind of saying that JOOQ generates Java code from your database and lets you build type-safe SQL queries through its Fluent API, right. So if you want JOOQ to be supported in your project, right, so you need to select this JOOQ, right. Now third, we have a MyBetis. MyBetis is just similar to the very similar to the Hibernate, right. So it's a ORM tool, one kind of ORM tool. If you want MyBetis to support it in your project, then you need to select MyBetis. Again, if you want JDBC, Spring with JDBC integration, then you need to select JDBC. Now you have some kind of embedded database. Here you can say S2 database saying that with embedded support. So there are 3 embedded database comes with the Spring Boot: S2, HSQLDB, Apache Derby. So these 3 comes with the embedded database, and these are the in-memory database, right. So if you run the server, right, so and you perform the CRUD operation, then everything you are going to save into the in-memory. Once you kill the server, then everything is going to destroy, right. But database like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQL Server, these are the actual database. Or you have a like Oracle, DB2, lot of database you have like Sybase. So these are the actual database. If you perform any kind of CRUD operation, then actually you are going to save your data somewhere in the external system, right? And once you restart the server, and once you kill the server and you restart it again, then you can get the last object state which you had saved into the database. But this is not possible in the case of the embedded database, like these three options you have. So basically these three database basically used for the testing purpose, right? So in test, if you write some kind of JUnit test or integration test in a Spring or other framework like then you don't want to spoil the actual database which is for your development environment or prod or J or some other environment, right? So instead basically you would want to use the in-memory database, or if you are doing some kind of POC, right? So you can go for this in-memory database, or and this database comes in, this is embedded with the Spring Boot project. Now let's come. Then at the time of creation our project we had selected all these three. So that's the reason in this project ticket booking management app which we had created earlier, so you have a 3 dependency would have added. So first is for Apache Derby, and second is for S2 database, and third is for HSQL DB. So these all, but these 2 database I have commented and I have uncommented only one, so that make sure that at a time we are working on the single in-memory database, right? And if you go to the Maven dependency, so as you can see Derby I have uncommented, and then you can see in class path you have a Derby related jars. So let's search for this. So you can see Derby. So Derby 10.1.3 sorry 10.13, so that is automatically added in our class path. And once you add Derby in your class path in your pom.xml, the corresponding jar will be loaded and that will added into the Maven dependency. And good thing about Spring Boot, so you don't need to create any kind of data source and all, everything will be created automatically in case of a Spring Boot, right? So you have something is called application.property. Here we haven't entered anything about our database, what is the URL, username, password, we haven't anything, dialect and all we haven't entered. Still you'll see data source will be created and that give it to you. And if you want to use this data source anywhere in your application, like in Dollar or somewhere, then easily you can use. So let's verify. In our case data source is going to create, then how we can verify? So this is the main class which we have created in the previous video. So guys, one thing I will request you, if you did not watch my previous video tutorial, we have created this project from the scratch, then please go and watch my previous video, then come to watch this video, else you will not understand, right? So here I'm going to do some kind of refactoring. Here this class is basically our bootstrap class, so this is going to implement a command line liner interface. Then this interface is having a method that you will have to override, right? So here basically what previously we had done, we have a application, a Spring application run, and just we are passing this class name, and this is the command line argument, and this is basically returning you the application context object. And using this application context object, we are asking to the Spring container, give me the instance of ticket booking service, and that returns to you. And we are calling the create ticket method in service class, and we are passing that this ticket, and this will insert into the Derby database, right? So here we are going to refactor this code. Now what I will do, here I'm going to cut this code snippet, I'll put it over here, and here I'm going to auto wire this service class. On the top of this class I will write private ticket booking service, and I will write auto wire. So I hope you are aware about these connotations. I have a lot of several video related to the Spring framework which I have uploaded, and I had talked about this annotation. So if you don't know what is auto wire, then I request you to go and watch. So basically this will, when you annotate this reference with @auto wire, then Spring will search this basically this Spring will here this class we have annotated as @service. So Spring will instantiate this class, and that will keep into the Spring container, and when you auto wire, then same will be given to you. And here this reference you can make use of here, right? So here I'm going to come remove these things. Now this Spring Bootstrap method is going to be like this. Now here what I will do, so here that's it. Now you will have to do ticket booking service and create ticket. That's it. Now code seems to be, and this lifecycle method will be called automatically. You don't need to care about this is going to call by the Spring container. Now let's run this application and see everything is working perfectly fine. Cool. Now you can see now Tomcat is running on the 8080 port, and if you look into here, so basically I want to see the SQL query which is fired by the Spring Boot. So how we can see those SQL query on the console, because one of the record we are going to insert into the Derby database. So I want to see the SQL query which is getting fired on the going to find on the Derby database. So here you will have to specify one of the property Spring dot jpa dot something is called so SQL. If you are aware about the some ORM tool, then you must know about this flag. So once we enable this flag, then SQL query which is fired by the ORM tool, in our case is Spring data JPA, that SQL query we can see on the Eclipse console. Now if I run this project, then basically in main Bootstrap class, basically we are inserting one record into the database. So you'll see insert, here you can see the insert query. One of the insert query has been fired, and we are just inserting record into a database, right? So that we are able to see because that flag we made enable. Now is there any data source is getting created as well? Yes, one of the data source is getting created automatically, and that data source you can use anywhere. How we can verify it? Now I'm going to write private data source and data source, and this also will have to auto wire over here. And let's print this data source here. So I would say data source, and I'll print this data source, and let's run this project again. You'll see this data source will be created automatically, and once you get the data source, then you can interact with your database, right, easily. Now you can see one of the insert query has been fired, and you can see the data source we are printing over here, data source, and you can see the lot of information over here about the database. The driver class that is embedded, driver class, max active, min active, everything you can see. So currently this is using the Derby database, so that's the reason you see the data source information holds the information about the Derby database. So guys, I am running out of time. This video will be continue, this discussion will be continue in the next video. So we have a second part of this video, so don't forget to watch that video. There we'll discuss about the remaining two embedded database, that is S2 database as well as HSQL. So currently we have uncommented this Apache Derby. So Apache Derby is working behind the scene. So thanks for watching this video, and see you in next video tutorial. This code I'm going to put on the GitHub. Thanks. And video discussion you'll get in the video discussion you'll get that link.